Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm talking about Venus conjunct Jupiter in the natal chart. I've been so excited to do this conjunction. I was waiting for someone to request it, and one of you did, so yay, I'm really excited. So, this conjunction is said to be extremely fortunate and lucky to have in your natal chart. It is said that good things or good deeds have been done in past lives, which have allowed this lifetime to be fortunate, lucky, financially. Sometimes it can be very fortunate as well. There can be a lot of wealth when we have Venus conjunct to Jupiter in our natal chart. But it also has some downsides, which I feel like are maybe not talked about enough. So, this conjunction is extremely powerful when we have Venus, which is our love planet. So there's a representative of our heart and a part of our feminine energy. It's also, what we find pleasurable and our self worth, conjunct with Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion and faith and our joy. Um, this tends to give the individual a pretty high level of self esteem and self worth. Sometimes bordering on narcissism, even. You can see Jupiter conjunctions actually making a bit of a narcissistic person, or at least a very self oriented person in sort of like a unknowing way. Like it can be mostly harmless, but it is like when we take self-worth of Venus and pleasure and luxury and love and we expand it with Jupiter, we can get many possibilities, and there can definitely be a tendency to put the self first. Now, this can be done in a very healthy way or not. You want to look at the house placement that this conjunction is taking place in the sign, and this is kind of like the good luck charm of the person. There is going to be great charisma, there's a real warmth in the personality and joy and bigness of the personality. Even if this is occurring in a more subdued sign, there still really is like a flair or like a very charismatic energy that is very good with people. They are quite good at getting people to do what they want in many cases because of their charisma and their charm that they have with this Venus Jupiter conjunction. Now, um the love life to them is extremely important. It is, one of the great joys of their life to be in a relationship and to experience all the pleasures of that. Now, sometimes this conjunction can be a bit hedonistic and a bit more self serving in their pleasure. Like they really feel like they deserve the good life, and they don't take a lot of restraint in any area. So it can lead to like overindulgence with food or even especially sweets. It's common to really have a sweet tooth with this conjunction and be just basically unable to restrain from the pleasures of life. So it can sometimes show kind of an addictive personality. It could even show like a relationship addict, like being addicted to being in a relationship or being in many relationships. Sometimes Venus, Jupiter, right? We're expanding, we're indulging in various relationships. We could even see kind of a Sagittarian, oh, what's the word, bachelor lifestyle, but in, most cases, the heart is very developed and there's not an intention to hurt people unless we have other things going on that show, more dangerous forms of narcissism and stuff. In most cases, the person with the Venus Jupiter conjunction is very heartfelt and doesn't want to hurt anybody, not even a fly. Like they are extremely loving people, but it's just they don't like to be restricted or restrained in any way, especially with pleasure. So it's a very interesting conjunction. Now, they actually lack introspective ability, like the ability to look within and maybe see themselves clearly or see any flaws that they might have. They can struggle with that. Now, on the good side of this is that there usually is a self-assurance and like an inner knowing of like, if I desire it, I get to have it, and like I get to be successful. I get to live this big life. But there can also be disappointment when, you know, they maybe aren't living that. And this conjunction doesn't necessarily show hard work. Like, you'd have to look at other areas of the chart to see if this person actually wants to do the labor of love required to get their dream life. They might just kind of, in some cases, have like an entitlement, like when they're born, like, I deserve a lush life, I deserve all good things, and yet if there isn't a strong Saturn motivating, then they might not actually end up getting all that they could, because this is actually meant to be a blessed lifetime. This is meant to be a fortunate lifetime. This is meant to be a lifetime of indulgence and enjoyment and pleasure and being, more well off. This is one of the indicators of wealth, like I've said. So but without the motivation of certain other aspects, they could have that kind of negative entitlement of like, well, where is it? Where's my wealth? Where's my lover? Where's my, good fortune or whatever? And that can lead to like a bitterness that can sometimes come out here. But I feel like that is more rare. And most of the time, oh my goodness, it just started like downpouring like so hard outside. I wonder if that's a sign for you guys, Venus, Jupiter people. Be washed in the rain. Be cleansed in love. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, usually we're going to see more positive manifestations with this conjunction, and we're going to see a big loving personality, kind of like a golden retriever, just a pure-hearted, like, wonderful, bright, big. They cannot hide. They cannot be low-key. They cannot be hidden in the background. They have to be the star. Unless Venus is in the 12th house, they can sometimes take a back seat, but then it's going to manifest in other ways, in big unconscious feelings and dreams coming up and things like that. So you have to look at everything and look at the house placement and look at the signs and everything. But no matter what house or what sign it is, there is a very big feeling of like destiny for this person. And they feel like this lifetime is meant to be big as far as love goes, and as far as like even just like their faith and their dreams. Well, it's not necessarily like a religious aspect, because it is more kind of hedonistic, like I've said. There's a really strong connection to God. There is, and it's more self-taught. There is a belief in something, whatever it is. It might be shown by Jupiter. They really believe it with all their heart. And we can also see, Jupiter acting on Venus, meaning that whatever we believe, we love what we believe, and we want to teach it to others. We want to expand. We want to, be off around the world preaching the good word, whatever it is. It might not actually be religion. It's less likely to actually be organized religion, but it could be. And whatever it is that we believe, we stick to with this aspect, and we have full faith and knowing, and we do not ever doubt it for a second with Venus Jupiter conjunct. So in that case, it is an excellent aspect for teaching, and for it's a very people oriented aspect as well. Like, so anything working with people, and sharing your energy, sharing your light, sharing your exuberance and your joyous personality. That's something that is actually, they have an inner joy in them that like radiates from this blessed aspect of Venus conjunct Jupiter. I actually have my husband in spirit, who passed away in 2021, he has this conjunction, and it's also conjunct to Sun, and ascendant widely, but still, and all in Leo in the 12th house. And then my current partner, my first boyfriend since he has passed, actually also has this conjunction where Venus is in Leo at 0 and Jupiter is at 29 of Cancer. And for him, it manifests in different ways with it being out of sign, like, and Jupiter being in Cancer is very it's more like shrewd. It's like he's not as big in personality and like the way that my late husband was, but yet it's very similar in the warmth and the, I mean, I guess, it's interesting because Venus Jupiter can represent the type of, like, especially if you're a man too, the type of woman that you'll attract. And I think with my Jupiter in Sagittarius and my love of teaching and knowledge and being so connected to God in my own personal way, I wonder if I was a manifestation of that conjunction, or am a manifestation of that conjunction for them, right? Because Venus Jupiter can also represent the type of partner that you attract, especially for men, but also for women too, because Venus is kind of like the relational energy. And then there is also, a lot of teachings that will say that Jupiter is like a manifestation of the husband as well. So the partner can be kind of preachy or Sagittarian-ish in a way with this conjunction. But yeah, I find it funny that they both have that in a different way. But yeah, so I love this aspect. And I should touch on that. The generosity, it's a generosity of spirit. Like, these are the type of people that they do inwardly believe in abundance. Now, they might have a Saturn aspect going on that kind of causes them to fluctuate, meaning that sometimes they feel super abundant and rich, and other times they feel like they're completely poor. So you have to look at everything. But this aspect isolated, it's like a belief of like, there is enough, and maybe there's more than enough. There's enough that I can share with others, which not everybody has that inherent belief of abundance. And so there is a real generosity here. And then there also is a belief that relationships are growth and relationships are learning. So it's very common to like learn big lessons through love that end up gaining a lot of perspective and wisdom in your life when you have this conjunction. It's not like you're just in love for the pleasure of it, although these people love pleasure. It's like there's a growth aspect of love that's almost like it's on a more spiritual side. If we can see this in some people that are more highly evolved and soul connected, we can see a real connection to God and connection to the divine through love. And that's, one of the gifts of this. And love is also where the generosity can come out. They can be very extravagant in their giving and their gifts to their loved one when we have this conjunction. They can really be learning lessons of giving. Sometimes they can be over-giving with this conjunction. So they're definitely learning lessons around that. But whatever happens to them, like, they don't usually allow their heart to close. There isn't this tendency to like, oh, I've been hurt, I'm going to close down and close my heart, unless we have other harsh Saturn things going on here. But they're more likely to think, well, something better is around the corner, right? And now that belief of something better being around the corner can also cause them to be the one to kind of prematurely leave relationships at times as well. So we can see that a phase of kind of jumping through relationships because like the Jupiterian would believe is that there's always something better out there, which can lead to kind of a restlessness in relationships. Now, something that can come out with this conjunction as well, you're not going to see this in every case, but you can kind of see this as it can be a bit of a superficiality about like looks and love. Like they really appreciate beauty, and they tend to think of themselves as good looking or worthy of beautiful things or a beautiful person. Now, they can sometimes see people and value them based on more outer things, their appearance or financial things. And so we can see a kind of superficiality in some cases with this conjunction. So, it's interesting, as great and as lucky and as blessed as I believe this aspect to be, there are many downsides. And that's the thing about Jupiter, is that it expands whatever it touches. And sometimes, like I said, Jupiter conjunctions can actually manifest in a negative way with overindulgence. This one, of course, this could be like the constant sexual conquests or relationships, or never enough money, always seeking more, 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 right? There's some negative ways that this could manifest with this conjunction, of course. But I mean, I still overall think it's like a very blessed thing, and it does tend to indicate wealth and a good karma around financial things, and in love too. I feel like, because like a universal law is like warm-heartedness leads to more of that coming to you, right? So these people tend to, when they exude that warmth and lovingness from their heart, the world meets them back with that. So yeah. um yeah, I love this aspect. I was excited to talk about it. Something interesting that I found about it, though, and there was a few celebrities, but like Diddy has this aspect too, and I think there's many other things in his chart that probably indicate some of his behavior. But I feel like, when we're talking about the negative sides of this aspect, I think that some of the stuff that maybe he's done or did, or whatever that he's being accused of, because with Venus Jupiter, there's this feeling of like, whatever I desire, I get to have, kind of thing. So taken negatively, when we're seeing some more toxic personalities, it could actually be really ugly. So, I mean, I always like to put a positive spin on some of the more negative aspects, and then some of the classically more positive aspects, I want to also like ground and be like, this can also manifest negatively. But just so you know, I love you guys. Like, both of my like true loves of my life have this aspect, so I obviously am very attracted to it and love it. But just also got to mention some of the downsides. Anyways, thank you so much for requesting this, you guys. This was very fun to talk about. I was waiting for this one. So keep those requests coming, and let me know, what your experience of this aspect has been for you. If you have it in your natal, or if you know someone or you're with someone, I'd love to know your experiences as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. Talk soon. Bye.